Our CBS News Decision Desk has been crunching the numbers all night, has some new information. Let's get right to New York. Our Tanya Rivero is standing by with Anthony Salvanto. Tanya?
Thanks so much, Elaine. Yeah, we have some pretty interesting news to report. Anthony, do you want to talk about the fact that both Biden and Warren look like they're not on pace to get any delegates?
They are not on pace to get delegates, and that means that with them below that magic threshold that the Democrats set, which is 15%, both of them are below that right now, and our models are pointing such that they won't break 15%. So they're not on pace to get delegates. But let me show you something else, Tanya. Let me describe for you what is happening between Sanders and Buttigieg as well. One of the things to watch here, we have now moved this race, our characterization of it, to lean Sanders. Lean Sanders means that he's got an edge. It is not certain by any stretch that he will win, but he is leading right now. And one of the reasons for that is that he has so far been doing pretty well in the key urban centers, in Manchester, in Concord. If I go in here and I zoom in, I'm going to get you a little bit closer now to Manchester and Concord. You see those places are in purple. That is our color that indicates a Sanders lead. So he's doing well there. He's doing well in Concord. That's helping him, but he's also done well in a lot of other little towns that have reported as well rather consistently.
And those are urban centers that tend to lean more progressive. Is that right, Anthony?
He will find plenty of liberal voters there. But one thing I would notice, roughing off of that point, is that that number is just about where his pre-election polls were. He has a very solid level of support, but it has not yet grown. It's not above 30%. It's not to 35. The other candidates are still dividing that vote behind him. I think one of the interesting things, whatever happens here tonight, is can Bernie Sanders then start to grow his support beyond what he has? And what he has is rock solid.
What's so interesting, though, to me is how well Amy Klobuchar is doing.
Yes.
7 out of 10 voters who voted for her say they decided very recently to vote for her.
Yes, and that is perhaps the most, if not, or the second most important point of the night. There are a few smaller towns where I can point to, Bedford for one of them, not that small, frankly, but those places where she has done well. But what really you start to see is in all of these smaller towns, she is close. Maybe not over Sanders, but she is close to Sanders. And the other thing I will tell you is we look for patterns, and in her vote, it correlates fairly well with Hillary Clinton's vote from 2016. So you start to get this picture of a non-Bernie Sanders part of this electorate, and she is picking up a lot of that.
So let me ask you something. Since obviously Sanders is doing well as expected, and Buttigieg is also doing well as expected, Biden and Warren were not doing as well as expected. Is Amy Klobuchar getting votes from their campaigns?
Yes, that seems to be the case. And that's from the exit polls, where what you see is folks who, like I said, aren't with Bernie Sanders. And there was late movement towards Klobuchar. Folks in the exit poll told us that that debate was critical. A lot of people thought she did well in that debate. Voters certainly did. And that very, very large late deciders number is also important. Those late deciders breaking towards her, they didn't go to Sanders. They almost certainly came from a Biden or a Warren.
And at this point, how many of the larger townships are almost all in?
We're still waiting for a number of the suburbs around places like Portsmouth. A lot of college-educated voters there, around Dover. And we'll see as the rest of that comes in, Tanya.
A lot of purple over there, though.
Yep, plenty of purple, but also plenty of gray, which means not in yet.
All right, Anthony, thank you so much. Elaine, back to you.
All right, Tanya, Anthony, thank you very much.